All right, qualifying is over. They all got qualified and got started early. Harley Barletta, James Harris on the front row. Richard Fornshell, Christian Wilcox on the second row. Sheldon Pearson and William Mann Jr. on the third row. Jim Cook and William Mann Sr. on the fourth row. Josh Cadill and Garth Snyder rounding out the top 10. Then Derek Wynn, 11th. Robert Wynn Sr. is 12th. 13th is Full Bore Kilgore. I have to admit a bit of excitement about broadcasting this one. This is the first race I do believe we have ever broadcast at this track, so I am a bit excited about it. I'm not sure how that actually worked out. No, this is the second time I've broadcast here. It's still an awesome track to broadcast. Broadcast the Outlaw Cup Series here once, and that was one heck of a show. You can find that video on our YouTube channel. You don't have the link to the YouTube channel, you can find it at htsai.net along with a lot of information. And as we continue to work on updates for it this week, and we continue to do upgrades during broadcast or for the broadcast that you're going to see in the next few minutes. Continuing to make improvements. If you want to help make improvements, hit some stars on Facebook or some bits on Twitch. We appreciate it. That's what we appreciate about you. All right, Harley Barletta and James Harris. Sounds like there was a bit of rivalry there coming into this week. Things might get a little bit dicey. Pace car is in. Barney the flag man has the flag in his hand. Green flag is in the air. They're down and away. James Harris gets a good jump on the bottom. Turn 4 is where we will see some excitement as we've got a car really struggling. Robert Wynn Sr. having problems getting up to speed in the 57. I'm sorry, William Mann Sr. having trouble getting up to speed in the 57. Harley Barletta and James Harris still side by side. They just switched lanes, and off of turn 4, a little loose out of both of them. Harley Barletta is going to lead lap number 1. Out of turn 2 on the second lap, James Harris all over the back bumper. He said he's going to use that bumper if he needs to tonight, but right now he drops to the bottom. Harley Barletta comes down a little bit to try and squeeze off the run. James has to get out of the throttle, and Fornshell has an opportunity to go to the high side. William Mann Sr. in the wall out of turn 4. He manages to hold on to it. Fastest lap that time, Richard Fornshell. James Harris has the nose ahead, coming out of turn 4. Still, even though Harley Barletta on the high side gets the momentum, and they are dead even at the line. It was hardly at the line. Fornshell still turning the fastest laps, though. Just nowhere to go. You can pass up really high and 3 wide here, but it does get a bit sketchy with those cars on the inside. All right, as they come around to complete the next lap, we got a car hit the wall. I believe that was William Mann Jr. got a little bit of the wall off turn 4. As they come around, crank up the volume. Okay, that did not work. Looks like a glitch with the new burning up the track thing, but we'll have it fixed by next week. Sorry about that. All right, Fornshell battling for second. James Harris down on the bottom. Side by side at the line, it looks like James Harris has the advantage going off into turn one. Back behind, it is still nose to tail everywhere. The top three pulling away. William Mann Jr. now up to fifth. Christian Wilcox in fourth. Robert Wynn, though, is the man on the move. He has picked up 3 spots, started in 12th. He is now up to 9th. Harley Barletta is out front, 0.6 of a second over James Harris. Christian Wilcox now up to third. Fornshell drifting back to fourth. And William Mann Jr. now in fifth, but the battle behind him, Sheldon Pearson, Jim Cook, Josh Cadill, Robert Wynn. Pearson at the front of this pack, just trying to survive. Said he has bad luck every time he comes here. He wants to break that streak. Jim Cook down on the bottom, wanting to make something happen. Last time he was here in a Cup car, he was extraordinarily fast and hard to beat. Will he be able to get back up there? He had a top 5 finish, if I recall. Josh Cadill in 8th. Russ Kilgore in 9th. Robert Wynn has drifted back to 10th. Oh, Cadill in the wall. And slows way down. Couldn't get off the wall here. Robert Wynn just staying in the draft right now. He is going to be one to watch, as his strategy is always just conserving the car, conserving his fuel and his tires. Jim Cook sends it down to the bottom again. Trying anything he can to get around Pearson. Harley Barletta has a 0.6 of a second lead right now over James Harris, but he is not able to go any further. Christian Wilcox, however, is gaining. Starting to see drivers drop down to the apron to pick up some speed, but that is harder on the tires. Robert Wynn in 9th. Let's take a ride around in his car. And they're trying to go 3 wide in front of him. I guarantee you Pearson does not want to see this, as it looks like Robert Wynn's got a little bit of a blink here. There it is, full bore Kilgore is on board. He's not blinking. As they go down the front straightaway, out of turn number 4, across the start-finish line. Off into turn 1, Pearson up high, Jim Cook down low. Around the 14-degree bank turns. Jim Cook starting to get a little bit ahead. Oh! Is he going to try and make it 3 wide off into the turn? He is! Oh no! Jim Cook runs up into Pearson. Pearson is around. Caution! Sheldon Pearson's luck, bad luck here at Nashville Superspeedway continues. And a hard hit into the wall. He'll have to go to pit road and get the... You know what? I think the safer barrier might have actually helped Pearson's car just a little bit here. And getting on the brakes, being sideways as long as he was, he's got some damage, but it honestly does not look that bad. The car looks okay for the most part. He might be okay and not have to use one of his fast repairs here. Everybody is on pit road. No, that right front that hit and the nose that hit is actually in great shape. So now it becomes a race off of pit road. Harley Barletta, James Harris, both in their pit stalls. Harley has the first pit stall. Who's going to get off pit road? Looks like their pit stops are almost identical at the moment. This may come down to Harley being... Yep, Harley gets it. James comes off second. All right, give us just a minute. We're going to fix this. We're going to try to. Maybe not. Doesn't seem to be wanting to cooperate. I was going to do the old crank it up thing, but it's obviously having some difficulties here tonight. All right, lights are out on the pace car. Harley Barletta, James Harris on the front row again. Harley choosing, looks like, to restart on the high side. William Mann Jr. is going to be on the second row with Christian Wilcox. Robert Wynn Sr. and Russ Kilgore now 5th and 6th. Both of them picking up 7 spots since the race started. Robert Wynn picking up several on pit road. Looking at the pit stop times, his time was not extremely quick. However, the cars behind, Russ Kilgore was a second slower. Jim Cook several seconds slower. Garth Snyder several seconds slower as well. Pace car getting ready to duck off out of turn 4. James Harris, Harley Barletta. This has been a battle brewing all week, it sounded like. Pace car is in. Green flag in the air now, and Harley Barletta gets a great restart. Harris in second, now has to deal with William Mann Jr. coming to the high side. Christian Wilcox right on the back bumper. And now Robert Wynn is up in the mess. And you heard James Harris say it during the pre-race. He was worried most about Robert Wynn if this becomes a green flag fuel run race. Harley Barletta has checked out, 0.6 of a second lead over Harris. Now here comes Christian Wilcox for third. William Mann Jr. on the high side. Robert Wynn now looking to the bottom. Sheldon Pearson has fallen back to 10th after that incident, trying to make his way back towards the front. Jim Cook just ahead. He was involved in that as well. And it looks like Jim might have already had a little contact on the left side of that car as well. That his front bumper is still a little wonky, and yeah, he has had left side contact at some point. As he comes up, he is going to look for the move on Garth Snyder. That is for 8th. Harley Barletta just ran the fastest lap of the race, 1/10 of a second faster than James Harris, and that last lap was his fastest. Can he keep this pace up, though, is the question. He has got to save tires. Harley Barletta extremely good at tracks that require tire saving, like Atlanta, Rockingham, Darlington. But he has not driven this car and track combination before. Caution is out. Derek Wynn involved. Oh, William Mann Sr. just gets together with him as they go off into turn 3. Harley Barletta way out front. Does not want to see a caution at all. Hey Harley, it's Doug. You got me?
What's going on, Doug?
Hey, you seem to have this thing figured out, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, your first time with this car track combination.
Yeah, first time with this car track combo. I mean, I really like these ARCA cars. I wish I could run them more other than just Sunday nights because they are a handful, yet really, really fun too.
I have to agree with that. You keep getting away from James Harris. You're getting some great restarts, but are you going to be able to maintain that speed on the long run?
Well, that's yet to be determined. I feel like we can. It felt like we were pulling away on that first run there. Got to about 7/10 out, so it felt pretty good, but I don't know. James might be saving a little more than me.
All right, man. Good luck, and you definitely got a fast hot rod.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you.
Remember, Harley Barletta comes into the night third in points, looking to make up some ground. James Harris, winning the first 3 races of this series, has a substantial point lead. 15 points over second place Trey Whitehead, who is not here, using tonight as a drop race, and almost 20 points ahead of Harley Barletta. So it's going to be very difficult for Harley Barletta to close up any of the points gap here. But a very long way to go for these guys. They could still, everything could change. Christian Wilcox up to third, and Russ Kilgore now up to 5th place after starting 13th. He is on the move. Doesn't look like Russ Kilgore's available for an interview at the moment. As the lights go out around the track and they begin to line up, Harley Barletta is going to choose to restart on the high side again. James Harris to the inside. William Mann Jr. and Christian Wilcox on the second row. Robert Wynn Sr., Russ Kilgore on the third row. Jim Cook, Josh Cadill on the fourth row. Sheldon Pearson, Garth Snyder rounding out the top 10. Then it's Sheldon Pearson, William Mann Sr., Derek Wynn, and Richard Fornshell. Pace car is in. Harley Barletta looking for another great restart. James Harris is going to be watching closely. He is down and away. Green flag is in the air. Harley Barletta gets another good restart. James Harris gets left behind. Off into turn 1. William Mann Jr. manages to secure third. Kilgore in 5th as Robert Wynn to the high side. Here comes Josh Cadill on the bottom. And he's got help from Garth Snyder, but Robert Wynn pulls away off into turn 3. That high line, obviously the fastest way around, at least on fresh tires. A little kick out from Robert Wynn there. They start to line back up. Jim Cook now to 8th. Harley Barletta he got away on the restart, but James Harris obviously not letting him get too terribly far as they go off into turn 1. Meanwhile, back behind, here comes Russ Kilgore making a move for 4th on Christian Wilcox and looking to the bottom, going after William Mann Jr. in 3rd. Russ Kilgore is definitely full bore tonight. William Mann Jr. and Christian Wilcox still battling for 4th place, giving Russ Kilgore a chance to pull away just a little bit. He's a second behind the leaders as they battle for the lead. James Harris down to the bottom. And a little wiggle out of Harley Barletta off turn in the middle of turn 4. And on his way off, James Harris gets the nose ahead. He leads his first lap of the night. Now, how long can Harley Barletta fight James Harris here? And James Harris slide job out of 2. Not often you see the slide job used by ARCA cars, but there it was. It looked like James just went full throttle and let the car four-wheel drift up the track a little bit. Back behind, Kilgore up to third. While they were battling, he gained 0.3 of a second. Almost within range to draft of Harley Barletta. Christian Wilcox in 4th. William Mann Jr. in 5th. Robert Wynn still lurking in 6th place. Josh Cadill has marched his way up to 7th now and is going to start picking them off. Robert Wynn starting to look for a move on William Mann Jr. Oh, William Mann Jr. grabs the wall out of 4. Drops down to the bottom to try and keep as much momentum as possible. Robert Wynn right to the back bumper. Josh Cadill just sitting back there. He closed that gap up really quickly, the ground that he lost on the restart, but we saw him coming through the field earlier. He is not pushing it as hard as he was. Back up front, James Harris still in the lead. Harley Barletta all over the rear bumper, and now full bore Kilgore is right on their bumpers. Looks like the top 2 cars are dropping down to the apron to carry as much speed as possible on the front straightaway, but that will wear the tires a little bit quicker, and that is going to benefit Russ Kilgore, who is staying up high and trying to save tires for the long run. And now the question becomes, if this thing stays green, can they go the distance with the fuel that they have left? It would be kind of iffy. Everybody last stopped on lap 14, so they would have to make it 55 laps. I don't believe with the fuel load they're carrying tonight, they can make it that far. James Harris out front cannot get away from Harley Barletta. Kilgore in 3rd has had an amazing drive to the front. Christian Wilcox in 4th has held on to the top 5 all night. Robert Wynn is now looking underneath William Mann Jr. to take 5th place. He gets him at the line. Will he have it off of turn 2? William Mann still fighting on the high side. Robert Wynn's got a little help from Josh Cadill. Off into 3 and 4, the bottom line pulling ahead just a little bit. Robert Wynn's going to take him off of turn 4. Move Robert Wynn up to 5th place. And Josh Cadill now looking to the bottom on William Mann Jr. And lurking behind him is Jim Cook. Still has some damage on the left front of that car from the incident with Sheldon Pearson, but he seems to be okay. He's not losing any speed. Harley Barletta out front, but here come James Harris is trying to hold him off, but Harley Barletta gets him at the line. Side-by-side battle. These two have battled side-by-side most of the race. Oh, they get together out of turn 2. They collect. Kilgore gets collected. Caution is out. James Harris trying to pull that same slide job, just didn't have enough clearance. Collects Harley, collects Kilgore. Everybody else seems to make it through okay. The answer of the question, can they go the distance on fuel? They can from here. At the halfway point, a big wreck out of turn 2. Kilgore had to tow to the pits. Third caution of the night right at the halfway point. Robert Wynn has managed to slip by into second, but Christian Wilcox takes advantage and takes the lead for the first time tonight. Robert Wynn in second, William Mann Jr. third, Josh Cadill in fourth, Jim Cook now up to fifth. See if we can get a quick word with Josh Cadill here. Hey Josh, this is Doug in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey man, you have had a fast race car. It's obvious as you come through the field, but it looks like you're being a little bit patient out there, waiting for the right moments, and it's worked out so far.
Yeah, I wish we could just get like a 20, 30 lap run here. I feel like the longer we go, the better we get. So hopefully we can go the rest of the way here without a caution, and we can get up here and play with the lead.
Well, it looks like you're going to get the chance to pit here, get fuel and tires, and hopefully go the distance. You definitely look like one of the fastest cars on the long run. So good luck, man.
I appreciate it.
Josh Cadill in the 24 car in fourth place. Sheldon Pearson has said that his luck here is terrible. That played out a bit earlier with him and Jim Cook as they got together and he ended up in the wall. Damage was minimal to that car. He avoids the incident on track and has made his way back up into fifth place, and nobody is coming to pit road here. The three cars involved in the incident all came to pit road, but nobody else on the lead lap. One to go at the line. Christian Wilcox choosing to restart on the high side. Robert Wynn on the bottom. It's been a while since we've seen Robert Wynn in victory lane. Could this be the night? He definitely is one of the best at saving fuel, saving tires, saving the car, making the right moves at the right time, being the most patient and a smart driver out there. Tonight might be his shot. William Mann Jr. dropping down to the apron. He gets the cone. That is generally, if you've watched the other Fast and Fun races, you know that is a real big thing, is who can get the blue cone. In fact, the logo for when they did the Variety Series was a blue cone with the little round circle and line through it. Pace car is in. Christian Wilcox gets to fire first. And he is down and away. Green flag in the air. Wilcox out front for the first time tonight under green. Cadill on the high side is going to go for a second, and Jim Cook is cutting his way through the field. He is trying to make his way forward. Sheldon Pearson up on the high side. Last time they tried this, it didn't end well, but Jim Cook clears Pearson for fifth. And William Mann Jr. had better watch out, because Jim Cook is on the way, and Christian Wilcox is in trouble. Robert Wynn is caught back up. Josh Cadill is caught back up. William Mann Jr. now in the mix. It's going to be a four-car battle for the lead in a moment. Robert Wynn Sr. on the bottom, looking for the pass out of turn two. He gets the nose in as they head to turn three. He's got the run down into turn three. Christian Wilcox trying to fight back on the high side. Cadill and William Mann Jr. Oh my goodness! Wilcox gets way loose off of four. Cadill almost gets to take advantage of it. Not quite enough. Cadill now down on the apron, loses some momentum. William Mann Jr. fighting back, and here comes James Harris. He restarted back in 12th. Harley Barletta restarted in 11th. They're making their way back to the front as well. James Harris now up to 5th. Harley Barletta, he is in 8th right now and looking to make his way forward. Jim Cook, though, he comes off turn 4, uses the looseness of the race car to get the drive down but loses momentum down the front straightaway. It looked like he was going to pull off a miracle pass there. James Harris now up to 4th. He clears Cadill. But they are on fresh tires. Harley Barletta, James Harris, the only 2 cars out there on fresh tires. And it is definitely paying off. I guarantee if we get another caution, everybody's coming to pit road for fresh tires after seeing this. James Harris now to 3rd, Harley Barletta to 6th. Sheldon Pearson currently running in 7th place. James Harris up to 3rd, now trying to track down Christian Wilcox. Meanwhile, Robert Wynn a half second ahead of Wilcox. Off into turn 1, Christian Wilcox still in the lead. In second. James Harris looks to the bottom out of turn 2. 4 fresh tires definitely paying off here. As James Harris now takes 2nd. Harley Barletta now up to 4th. They have 20 lap fresher tires right now, and it is definitely showing. I am really surprised we did not see everybody on pit road. Robert Wynn Sr. out front, but that lead is shrinking quickly as James Harris charges forward. Harley Barletta now looking to the bottom on Wilcox. William Mann Jr. currently running 5th. Josh Cadill in 6th. Sheldon Pearson is 7th. Jim Cook is in 8th. Garth Snyder in 9th. Richard Fornshell in 10th. Derek Wynn 11th. William Mann Sr. in 12th. Russ Kilgore currently in 13th. He was on pit road for a long time due to James Harris catches the lead. He was on pit road due to having to tow and lost a lap. He is hoping for another caution here. 26 laps to go. James Harris assumes the lead. Robert Wynn in 2nd, but here comes Harley Barletta. Harley Barletta down to the bottom. Has the run down into turn 1 on Robert Wynn. And now James Harris is in the lead. Harley Barletta is now clear of Robert Wynn Sr. for 2nd. 25 laps coming to 24 laps to go for James Harris. Can he hold Harley Barletta off here tonight? James drop into the apron. Harley stays up on the track. Harley closing up almost to the back bumper. Robert Wynn currently running in 3rd. Wilcox in 4th. William Mann Jr. right there in 5th. Josh Cadill 6th. Sheldon Pearson 7th. Jim Cook is 8th. Garth Snyder is 9th. Richard Fornshell in 10th. And these two have started to open up a gap. It is now 1.2 seconds from Harley Barletta to Robert Wynn Sr. Robert Wynn still has a 0.6 of a second gap on Christian Wilcox. William Mann Jr. and Josh Cadill right there with him, but you heard Josh say he is extremely fast. The long run, he needs this thing to stay green, and he'll have a chance to make his way forward. And he closes right up to the back bumper of William Mann Jr. Up front, James Harris still holding Harley Barletta off, but for how much longer? Or could this be the night that James Harris gets back to his winning streak? The first 3 races of the season, he won. Last week, Trey Whitehead pulled off the win and broke the streak. Could James Harris be starting again? Robert Wynn back in 3rd, Christian Wilcox in 4th, William Mann Jr. in 5th. Josh Cadill 6th, Sheldon Pearson 7th, Jim Cook 8th, 9th is Garth and 10th is Fornshell. And you got to give it to Pearson. He has had a great recovery after the early incident. Cadill now looking to the bottom. 20 laps to go. Cadill trying to take 5th place from William Mann Jr. He gets the nose inside, off into 1. William Mann using that high line, the momentum, he pulls ahead. And they're closing in. Derek Wynn is on pit road, and William Mann Jr. is closing in on Robert Wynn right now as Christian Wilcox starting to pull away in 3rd. Looks like Derek Wynn got tired of the tires and went to get 4 fresh Goodyears. $19 to go. James Harris still holding Harley Barletta off. You have to wonder, is Harley saving the tires for later in the run? And when does he make his move? He closes up so close out of turn 4. Wilcox in 3rd, now 4 seconds back from the 2 leaders. But he has opened up a 1.1 second lead over this battle for 5th. William Mann Jr. 4th, excuse me. William Mann Jr. currently in 4th. Cadill in 5th. Robert Wynn has drifted back. They got past him. He's back in 6th. And here comes Pearson in 7th, trying to take 6th from Robert Wynn Sr. Jim Cook has lost a little bit of ground. He is back in 8th now. Garth Snyder in 9th, starting to close up. And Richard Fornshell in 10th. As it looks like James Harris has started to open up a small gap on Harley Barletta. Will that gap grow? Is this Harley Barletta saving? William Mann Jr. still holding on to 4th, but Josh Cadill keeps looking to the bottom. And Pearson in 6th now is trying to close up on both of them. Now Cadill's got a line out into turn 1. Off turn 2, still fairly close. William Mann Jr. with the momentum advantage on the high side, pulls the nose ahead. But now Cadill back to the bottom in 3 and 4. Just can't get enough. Will he be able to pull it off of turn 4? They're drag racing down to the line. And now Pearson on the high side. William Mann opens up a little bit of a gap. Pearson trying to take the position from Cadill on the bottom. Now Pearson even as they go down into 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, Sheldon Pearson. Oh, a little wiggle out of William Mann. He doesn't seem to lose any momentum there. Drops all the way to the bottom. And James Harris has started to pull away from Harley Barletta. 0.7 of a second right now. Coming to 13 laps to go. Christian Wilcox way behind, 5.2 seconds in 3rd. And William Mann in 4th place has his hands full. Josh Cadill down to the bottom. Sheldon Pearson to the high side. They're going to go off into 1, 3 wide. Oh, Cadill just drifts up, almost gets into William Mann. Sheldon Pearson on the high side. Is he thinking about the early incident? This is exactly what happened to him the first time. He was on the high side, 3 wide. Cadill clears on the bottom. William Mann's in the bumper. Cadill manages to save it, but he's going to lose a couple positions. Pearson now to 4th. Robert Wynn Sr. into 5th. Josh Cadill all the way back to 7th. What a save by Josh Cadill. Let's take another look at that one. There you see William Mann just gets right into the bumper. Cadill down in the grass. Gets back up on track. Never gets out of the throttle. And James Harris in the lead, almost 1 second over Harley Barletta. Christian Wilcox in third, now 6 seconds behind. Robert Wynn now up to fourth, and Pearson in fifth. Pearson has got to be happy. He had the early incident, but now he has started recovering. Said he does not like this track. It brings him bad luck. Well, tonight the luck might be starting to change. Currently running in fifth place. William Mann Jr. lost a lot of ground there. Let's try and get a look at the front of his car. Doesn't look like he's got any significant damage, but he might be sweating just a little bit because Josh Cadill recovered quickly. We'll see if he can get back up there and possibly repay the favor. James Harris in the lead. Lap traffic is going to become an issue before long. William Mann Sr. just a half a straightaway ahead of him. James Harris way out front now, 1.1 second over Harley Barletta. Christian Wilcox does not have a chance on the older tires, 20 lap older tires. Robert Wynn currently running in fourth place, Sheldon Pearson in fifth. Josh Cadill continues to close down the gap on William Mann Jr. Fornshell now in eighth place after starting in third. Had a great start, got caught in an incident and just going backwards. Jim Cook in ninth, also caught in an early incident. He went back and had charged forward, had almost got back into the top five, but it looks like he used his tires up and he is going backwards. Garth Snyder in 10th has been patient and steady all night. He did not get going early enough though, and is not going to march very far forward. William Mann Sr. is now in, looking like he may get lapped. Derek Wynn in the 11 car, currently in 12th. He is just going past. That is not for position. And full bore Kilgore, after getting knocked off the track, a hard impact down on the infield, couldn't recover the car, had to tow to pit road. He is several laps down now and just needed a caution to get back. Not enough time left as James Harris takes the 5 to go. Lap traffic will become an issue, but if he times it right, could be beneficial. He could continue to pull away using the draft off the lap cars. Down to the bottom through 3 and 4. The lap car, William Mann Sr. goes high. Maybe a little too high. Oh, almost got the fence. Josh Cadill is closing back down, now just over half a second to 6th place William Mann Jr. Does he have enough time to get back up there and repay the favor? Robert Wynn started in 12th. He is now up to 4th. Sheldon Pearson currently running in 5th. And it looks like Pearson has got a run down the back straightaway. Will he be able to get around Robert Wynn? Robert Wynn getting through the corners better, but it looks like Sheldon gets off the corner way better. He's trying to use the draft to get that final spot. James Harris lead continuing to grow, 1.6 seconds. He'll get 2 to go at the line. Harley Barletta in second, now 1.6 seconds back. No chance of racing for the win unless James makes a mistake. Christian Wilcox in third. Sheldon Pearson in fourth now. He has managed to get around Robert Wynn Sr., who is in fifth. Wynn is fighting back to the inside though. And off of 2, Sheldon Pearson pulls away. Has the bad luck streak ended here tonight? James Harris takes the white flag. Out of turn number 2, James Harris has a 2-second lead over Harley Barletta. Just 2 more turns to go. And off of turn 4, the flagman has the checkers in the air. James Harris wins his 4th race of the season. Harley Barletta coming home in 2nd. Christian Wilcox finishing 3rd. Sheldon Pearson breaks his bad luck streak at Nashville Superspeedway. He comes home 4th. Robert Wynn is 5th. William Mann Jr. manages to get 6th. Josh Cadill in 7th. Garth Snyder is 8th. Fornshell in 9th. Jim Cook is in 10th. William Mann Sr., Derek Wynn, and Russ Kilgore rounding out the field. And let's see if we can talk to our winner. Hey, congratulations, James.
Thanks, Doug.
Another win. That makes 4 on the season. Unfortunately, last week broke the streak, but it's got to be good to be back on top.
Yeah, it feels good. Me and Harley had some really good battles there early on, and I guess we got together on that wreck. I don't know if I come up and he come down, or we both did the same move at the same time. But that actually was our saving grace because we got fresh tires. Everybody else stayed out, and it went green to the end. So.
It definitely paid off, and the fresh tires, you guys were storming through the field, just matching each other pass for pass until you got to the front.
Yeah, I told you we'd be going that long run, too. I think that last run was 35, 36 laps, and I think I gapped the field 2 seconds. So, tell you, Doug, I just need them long runs, and we're good to go.
Well, it definitely paid off tonight. Another win, 4 out of 5 races this season. Obviously, extending your points lead, and congratulations, man.
All right, thanks, Doug.
All right, let's see if we can talk to Harley Barletta here. Hey, Harley, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, you guys had one heck of a battle. You had one heck of a wreck. You had one heck of a charging back through the field to the front, but at the end, he managed to beat you.
Yeah, I hit the wall there coming off of 4, and that completely wrecked my car.
It didn't look like it wrecked it too much, man. You were still flying, still running a pretty similar pace to what you were before.
Yeah, it was all right, man. It was a bummer. I felt like I had the fastest car, but it's okay.
Well, still a second place finish. Obviously, you're not going to pick up any points on James, but you are going to pick up a lot of points and continue making your way forward.
Yeah, definitely. It's all right. Oh, I'm bummed. It's okay, though.
Well, regardless, I know you're bummed, but congratulations. One heck of a run tonight, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. We'll see you later.
All right, let's see if we can get Christian Wilcox. Hey, Christian, it's Doug. You got me?
Hey, Bo, what's up?
Hey, man. Now I have to ask that last caution. Nobody came for tires, and what was the thinking there? You had been about 15 laps since pit stops.
Analytics, just taking the risk that if there is another caution comes out, the 2 people in front of me were out of tires, and another caution, I'd have been the winner. But my strategy didn't pay out. You win some, you lose some, but I managed to hang on for a podium, top 3, and I won't complain. Just one of those things, man.
Well, you did manage to lead some laps. You gapped the field until the fresh tires got to you, and you put on one heck of a show, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thanks again. Have a good night, man.
All right, you too, buddy.
All right, bye-bye.
And let's see if we can get a quick word with Pearson. Hey, Sheldon, it's Doug. You got me?
What's up?
Is the bad luck streak broke?
I don't know, man. You can't just judge it off of one race.
Well, you did have the early incident, but you had one heck of a recovery.
Yeah, well, ask me after the Cup race.
Will do.
That's where my worst luck is. But no, Actually, it wasn't bad in the ARCA car. Nothing like it was in the Cup car.
Well, you definitely had a great recovery. You drove past a lot of fast race cars there towards the end and managed to make your way up to fourth, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I had to save a lot of tire right there, though.
I imagine so, but it definitely paid off.
Yeah.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks, Doug.
All right. Sheldon Pearson comes home fourth, possibly breaking the streak. James Harris gets another win, and just a bit crazy with early cautions and then a long green flag run. James Harris and Harley Barletta's wreck obviously paying off for them in a weird way, but there you have it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for a lot of great racing. Don't forget to come back tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern. We will have the Jones BS Racing League. The 34 Legends cars are up first, followed by the Wayland Tour mods, and promises, as always, to be a great race. Expect some announcements this week about some big upcoming broadcasts. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a good one.